It's like, well, I would never cheat. It's like, no, you just don't have the opportunity. Now, I'm not saying that everyone's in that position, you know, that they would cheat even if they had the opportunity, because that's not true. And it's the same with regards to, oh, I'm a peaceful man. It's like, no, you're not. You're just a weak coward. You wouldn't dare have a confrontation, physical or metaphysical.
How long does it take a woman to completely forget a man? What I'm going to say next may hurt you. If a man forgets a woman, it may take a year, 3 or 5 years, or even a whole lifetime. But for a woman, all it takes is for another man to appear in her life to forget a man who was once good to her. That's the reality.
All it takes is the next guy.
All it takes is the next guy, dog. Literally, all it takes is the next guy. Women know this. That's why before a woman fully moves on, she already has a soft landing spot. No woman in the history of mankind has ever left one man without having another man. She builds the relationship with the next man to the point where it's ready for the transition. Then she transitions. That's just how it is. Now, as a man, you shouldn't do that. You just always have more than one woman. You ain't worry about no shit like that. She will always do this, bro. And that's why when the relationship is over, you're up. And she's, life is so good and so blessed and so great. And look at me, I'm on a trip in the Bahamas or some shit like that. And you're trying to pick up the pieces because a woman is a force of destruction.
Tell us the truth.
The worst hurricanes we've had were named after broads. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
It's crazy, bro. But I'm telling you, man, it is. And I think that's on purpose. I think that's on purpose. When it's going to be a category 5, we better name that one a girl right there.
Yeah.
So the reality is, man, and this isn't bad or good about women, dog. It's just true. The reality is, man, a woman responds to, I don't want to say brutal engagement, but she responds to a man who keeps his gators on her neck. You got to keep them on there. If a woman's going to go be with somebody else, I'd rather her go be with a simp because I'm too cold than for her to go be with a man that's cold because I'm too soft. The interaction she gives him, the soft guy,
yeah,
that ain't nothing for me to worry about. You know what I'm saying? When she get that itch that need to be scratched, or she need to feel like a woman again, then she gonna come to where the masculinity at. But when the shit get too rough for her and she need a soft place to go and get some emotional relief and all of that, and come through, man, and probably let you lick on her, don't even let you stick on her or something like that, make her feel better. Like a girl was saying on the clip earlier, to lick her wounds and shit, she gonna come to you. Yeah. I'm cool with that, bro, because she gonna be with multiple men anyway.
Yeah, there's a cold fact. They don't have an independent mindset like that.
No
matter how much they want to claim they do. So once she's talking about, I think it's time to wind down this relationship, that the follow-up man has been secured.
Yes.
Before that conversation takes place. Otherwise, she would still be in limbo.
Yeah.
And when things are getting bad towards the end of the relationship, that's the limbo of like, who am I bouncing to next? Once that's figured out, that's when there's like a confident breakup.
Yeah, it's confident breakup. I mean, and you can, if you're paying attention, and I'll tell you guys this, man, if you're paying attention, you can tell when these things happen.
I'd never cheat on my wife. It's like, is there anybody asking you to that you actually find attractive? Or are there dozens of people asking you to that you find attractive? It's like, well, I would never cheat. It's like, no, you just don't have the opportunity. Now, I'm not saying that everyone's in that position, that they would cheat even if they had the opportunity, because that's not true. And it's the same with regards to, oh, I'm a peaceful man. It's like, no, you're not. You're just a weak coward. You wouldn't dare have a confrontation, physical or metaphysical. And you're passing it off as morality because you don't want to come to terms with the fact of your own weakness and cowardice. And part of the Nietzsche was criticizing was exactly of that sort. It said that failure in life masked by the morality that's nothing but weak cowardice turns to the resentment that undermines and destroys everything, and that does that purposefully.
Yeah, I think he was criticizing if under the facade of niceness there's an ocean of resentment.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Hey, man, that's a cold piece of content right there, bro.
Have you ever reacted to him before?
I haven't, man.
What'd you think of what he said, though?
Man, that's a cold piece of content, man. It's the actual reality of what it is. You have guys out here, man, that they have a negative outlook on everything that doesn't seem wholesome. Well, here's what you got to understand. Nothing in this world is wholesome except nature itself. Once you get man involved, there is no wholesomeness anymore. So there's going to be flawed logic and flawed outlook, and everything is going to have a little bit of nuance to it that you can define as negative or positive, depending on how you look at it. But one thing is for sure, it's easy to say what you don't do when the pressure to do it is not there for you. Very easy.
One of his most famous quotes is, as a man, you should be a monster and just know how to utilize it properly. In other words, have the capability to do harm, but just know how to keep that in check and only use it when it's necessary. And for a somewhat, nerdy, educated white psychologist, or Canadian to be specific, but like, it's interesting to hear that come from him, that you should be capable of violence, of harm, of everything, and just know how to use it properly only when necessary.
Right.
But if that necessary moment comes up and you don't have it, you're beat.
You're beat every single time. And it goes for everything. It goes from physical confrontation with men to, and most guys don't call it this, but anytime you interact with a woman, it's an emotional confrontation. Like, she's coming to do emotional battle. The nicest woman on earth is still coming to do emotional battle. She's coming to win an emotional battle with you. A woman who wants a husband, she's hoping to find a man and win that emotional battle with him. As a man, your job is to protect yourself and make sure you don't get tied in with the wrong woman. So it's a complete emotional battle. And if you're not prepared for battle, you wake up one day and you find yourself all in love and married to a woman who pregnant by somebody and she don't know who the dad is, but she your wife. You know what I'm saying? The other guy's like, shh. I mean, maybe he'll just claim his baby. That's his wife. And you're like, oh my God, I hope this is not this guy's baby. You know what I mean? Because what do? Do I like keep the woman and say, okay, the baby's mine anyway? But that only happens when you as a man don't understand that every day is a battle. When we wake up on shoot days, we already know it's going to be a battle. Something comes up on shoot days all the time. This time wasn't the same thing as it was last time, but it's still something that came up that we got to deal with and navigate and keep our minds on the task at hand at the same time. Everything is a battle. You wake up, you ate the wrong shit, or let's say you drank last night. Okay, well, guess what? You got arms today, or you got chest and back today. You supersetting, chest and you gotta work. There's a battle. Oh man, I don't feel like getting up, man. I don't even feel that good, man. Maybe I should just take the day off, man. Or it's a battle. Everything is a battle. And if you're not prepared for battle by sharpening your tools and your swords, man, you're going to be calling on the Lord every time you get into a scuffle.
And the other thing he said that's great is he said men that talk about, oh, I would never cheat on my wife. I'm a faithful man. And he's saying you're not a faithful man if you're faithful to a woman when no other woman wants you. That's cold. If you're faithful to your woman, if you choose to be monogamous when 3 other women are calling, talking about come see me, and you're like, no, I told you we don't speak anymore because I have a woman.
It's a level of respect that I give a man who can navigate that and say, okay, I've got this wife, but every time I turn around, something bad is throwing it at me. But now I can resist it. I get it. I just wouldn't shit on every other man and say, well, I can't respect you unless you do this. It's one thing to say, I respect a man who can, but to say, I can't respect any man who's not married and faithful to his wife. Come on, bro. That's a little bit of pandering going on in that shit, dog.
We all know about how women are turned on by married men. There's a slight flip to that coin there that needs to be said. Women aren't just turned on by married men. They're turned on by men who look like they could get all kinds of women that got a wedding band, not the dude who looked like this was the only woman he could get, and that's why he married her. And I think what it is that they get hot and bothered about in respect is discipline, basically, right? Because it takes discipline to do that. If you look like the type of dude that was like, be attractive to many women, but pick one, it's like, yo. But,
yeah.
But they are smart enough to know the dude that, like, bro, this was like the first and only woman he could get.
Right. So believe me, they know it.
There's a difference.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it's a funny thing, man, to hear. Man, you know what? I got to start. We got to start pulling some Jordan Peterson clips, man, and reacting to some of his joints.
Jordan Peterson's cold, man.
Yeah. That was icy, man. I see people react to it, but it's always on, when some controversy shit happens. When you say something controversial and somebody has a problem with it. But he be dropping just straight gems, without the controversy. Every time I've heard him talk, he be dropping gems, dog.
Yeah, no, he's an extremely thought-provoking cat. A little old school because he is one of those cats that really just married his high school sweetheart. Yeah. So there's a couple of things female nature-wise he's a little bit off on. And he is hard on monogamy. That was another quote by him. I just said he instructs men. He says, be as attractive to as many women as you can, but pick one. So there is like more of an old school to him, but he's still smart about what he talks about.
Right. And you know, man, I'm gonna tell you what the deal is with that, man. If you stay on point, even when you have a wife. Now, here's the thing, man. If you make those vows to a woman that it's just you and me, you better honor them. You got to be a man of your word, right? If you're not ready to honor them, don't make them. But if you do, if you stay on point, there's something to be said about this, dog. And whenever I'm abstaining, especially, man, this started when I was on the vow to Nazarite. Just walking into a room and having a few women in that room show you attraction confirmation. Where you walk into that room, you feel like, you know what? I could smash something in here if I really wanted to. Sometimes that holds you over to keep you from crossing the line. Because you don't always just walk into a room and want to, every room I go in, I got to find something to smash. You know what I mean? Sometimes just being reminded that if you wanted to, you could. It's enough, especially when you got a woman that you actually like at home. That may be able to sustain you and keep you from crossing that line as much as a guy who just, I mean, you led by your libido. You got to smash something. You know what I mean? And I think it also comes with a level of a level of maturity, but also I think after so many sexual experiences, you start to run out of things that you haven't done, and the allure of it wanes just a little bit, where you start to become a little bit more a little bit pickier, and you raise your standards a little bit more about who you're willing to deal with, and before long, most women don't meet your standard. And you gradually just get into that to where at 35, there are some women you smashed at 22, you'd be like, hell no.
Yeah.
No.
I don't cheat because I just decided that I don't want to be the kind of man that cheats. Not because I would never dare do it to the woman or break her heart or anything like that. It's not out of respect for women. It's out of respect for myself. Just to do all that sneaking around and like I just decided I don't want to be that. So it's actually out of respect for myself.
Yeah. Because it's definitely not masculine, man. You got to sneak around like a little boy hiding and doing all that shit.
No, when she comes close to catching you got to come up with an explanation like the shit Scooby-Doo and
yeah. Or try to convince the woman that the shit she's seeing, you ain't really seeing that. That's not what happened. So you got to lie on top of lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a weak position to operate from.
It is, man. Like this video on your way out if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. When you subscribe, click the notification bell. Make sure your notifications are on so you can be alerted to when I upload some more of this Prism of the Ism. And as always, Alpha's up, Beta's down. Peace.